Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, I'm Thelma.
And I'm Ryan.
And we would love for you to stick around, so please subscribe,
like,
comment,
and hit that notification bell.
Hit the bell, guys.
Ding, ding.
Our family on this YouTube thing, you guys are growing. And we're loving all the comments and the Insta follows that we're getting and everything, and we really appreciate that. But please keep doing that. Please like our videos, share it with your friends, your family, your grandma, your auntie. Come on, share it with everybody you know. And yes,
and watch our TikToks as well.
Watch our TikToks.
Yeah.
We're being better. We are being much better. So please make sure you do that. And if you have suggestions on what you'd like to see from us as well, just comment down below. Send us a DM on Instagram, and we will make it happen.
We'll do our best, guys.
Okay, so without further ado, let's get into this video. We are gonna do how we met.
Right. Interesting. How much detail are we going into?
We don't need to go into too much detail.
Okay.
Not too much detail, but let's. I'll tell like my perspective, and then I guess you can tell your perspective. Okay, no. What we should do is I'll tell you like my perspective of what I thought about you when I first met you and all that stuff, and you can tell me what you felt about me, and then we can tell the story of like of us.
Alright.
Okay.
So who's going first?
I think ladies first.
Okay then. Okay. You go first.
So it was a cold winter's day. I'm joking. So we both went to uni together. Obviously not a lot of you would know that. So we went to uni together, and we actually stayed in the same halls.
Yeah, for the first year.
For the first year. Well, I stayed there, I think for 2 years actually, but second year you commuted. But that's a story for another day.
Yeah, there's a back. The reason why I wasn't there for a second year, in that accommodation anyway.
Well, yeah, anywho. So, we stayed in the same accommodation together, and like our accommodation was previously it was residential like units for old people.
Old people, yeah.
Yeah, so it was like self-contained flats. That's what it was, and somewhere I think maximum was like 4 people, and then you had 2 was the smallest one. I was sharing with just me and this other girl who I'm still friends with, and I think my flat was quite nice. The setup was good. My room was lovely. It had a couch. It had like the patio doors onto.
But you didn't have a front room like my one.
Yeah, but that's because you shared with loads of people. I would have rather not had the front room.
There was 3 of us.
Yeah, it was just me and this girl, and it was nice because we were both girls. We were both immaculately clean. I didn't have any worries. And my room was so big anyway. Like me and her was close. Like our bedroom doors were always open, and half the time she was always chilling in my room anyway. So my room was the front room.
And what was mad about my one was you had to walk past the front room and the kitchen to get to the bathroom.
Yeah, that was weird, but it's because it was old people's. That's why when you think about the layout, it works for the older generation. Yeah. Anyway, we digress. Who would like that? Sorry guys, personal joke. We digress. So
it's a personal joke.
We met not long after we started uni, because it was like Freshers Week, and Freshers Week in the UK, people know what Freshers Week is. In America, what would it be like? The freshman term, like where you guys make your sororities and join clubs and stuff like that.
In the UK, you don't have sororities.
But you have clubs.
You have sports clubs.
Yeah.
You do have sports clubs. That's the biggest thing.
Really, it's just like, what is it? Football,
you have like
rugby.
Football, rugby, netball, cheerleading. Which
I didn't really feel like it was that great, but.
I'm trying to think what was in our school. School. Uni.
It's a formal school anyway.
Yeah. So it's football, rugby, netball, the ones I remember. The newest cheerleading.
That's pretty much it. I don't know about other universities, but I know that in the UK, the sports isn't like a big thing. But the location in which we went to, one of the big things was obviously rowing, because you had Cambridge University there, and they would do the rowing.
Oh, the rowing club,
against Oxford. Yeah. So that was like a thing, but not in our uni. It wasn't really a thing of being in the rowing club, because it was actually Cambridge Uni.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I made friends with this group of girls, and then they were like, oh, there's this guy who lives upstairs, and he's having like a little drinking session with like the people. You just basically had a door, like an open door, everyone come around, and then it's like going to a club later on. So I came up, and that's how like we first like met, but we didn't really like meet. It was just more like, oh, you're the person that owns the flat kind of thing. The only time I think we actually ever really met was we came to the like your house thing. Everyone was like there, and then
I introduced myself, said hi, I'm Ryan.
No, I don't know. We didn't.
We definitely did.
We didn't.
You were quiet sitting on the couch.
Yeah, because I remember. No, the only time I remember actually speaking to you is when you were like, "Oh, I ordered a cab. Are you going in a cab?" Because we were all going to the club.
I'm sure I introduced myself.
There was loads of girls there. He probably introduced himself to everybody, and you.
Here we go.
Anywho, so that's how I remember like meeting you, and I remember I think you was wearing a red shirt. It was a polo, and it was the one that had the massive 3 on it.
Oh, is that the one?
That's what I've got a good. I told you I've got a good memory.
Wow.
I remember that was the first time I ever like met you, and then that's how we met. So that's how I guess we got introduced, and that's how our friendship group I guess got interlinked, because then your friends were hanging around with a few of my friends, and then we say hang around, but we use that term loosely, and then that's how we became. I would say we were acquaintances for the first like 6 months. Then the second 6 months into that first year, I feel like we were friends, but we weren't friends. We were just like, oh, like I knew you. Because there was one time, remember when you were cycling back from uni and I was walking to uni, and like before you get to like our street where the accommodation was, there was the little alleyway where you could park cars. It wasn't like a dodgy alleyway, it was actually quite wide, but you could park the cars, and then like you were like, oh hey, and then I was like, hey, and then you're like, oh, where you going? And I'm like, uni, and then he was like, oh, okay, alright, see you later. Do you remember that? It was just like a weird, awkward conversation because you was on your bike, and then he went.
But you was hard to talk to.
I was a bit shy in the first year, but anywho, and then so I guess my first impressions were of you like out of his friendship group. I thought like, I wouldn't say I thought he was the nicest because I didn't really know you, and I was a lot closer to like one of your friends than I was with you. So it was just like so I just thought like he's a cool guy, there's nothing wrong with him like in that sense. Then I would say the second half of the first year like we became like friends, and then we broke up summer break, and then we came back in second year, and then in second year we bumped into each other at a club. It was in Bellare. It was in Bellare, and he was like, oh, Thelma, and I was like, oh. I remember you was dancing with my friend and I was dancing with your friend. Do you remember who I was dancing with?
Frank.
No.
What?
It wasn't Frank.
Really?
Yeah. And he was dancing.
Oh, so
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought it was Frank.
And then we swapped over, like you two was just like tag team pass. And then that night was, it was a wild night, especially for you. You can explain your night or what happened on your side in that night, because I think you guys got kicked out, didn't you?
Yeah, you did. Got into a fight. Yeah.
So anyway, so the night went on, had a great time. On the way back home, and I was working part-time, one of your friends called me and was like, hey, where are you guys? And then I was like, we're heading home. And he's like, oh, no, don't go home, come back to ours. And then I was like, yeah, cool. And then me and the girls were going home. So we went home, and I did have work in the morning as well, so we went home. Then I think it was a few weeks later, you text me. But he texted me, and I remember this, he texted me, he said, yo, bird. Do I look like I have any feathers? So anyway, this one was like, yo, bird. And I think I replied saying like, who is this? And you were like, Ryan, like question mark, like who else would it be? But you obviously didn't realize that I knew 2 other Ryans from school. So I didn't know, there's now 3 Ryans in my phone. I don't know who's who. Obviously your number's unsaved, but the other 2 are saved. So then I was like, which one, or something like that. And then you're like, from uni, how many do you know? Something along those lines. I think he was being cheeky. He was trying it, absolutely trying it. But we spoke, we were speaking for a while. We used to go for like drives, chat, and then I guess like one thing just one day I just realised that. I was like,
Did you never come to my place for a roast dinner on a Sunday? I'm sure you did once.
not for a roast. I did come to your place to chill, but never for a roast. Oh, I remember there was this one time I came to your house. You said everyone was watching a movie. We came. People were there for a movie, but I'm the type of person, guys, that when I'm watching a movie, like sleep creeps up on me very quickly. So I just remember watching a movie one minute and waking up to just laying on the couch, like conked out. And it was me and the other girl left.
Yeah.
And you had put a cover on me. You didn't put a cover on her. So then when I woke up and I realised like everyone had gone, the movie was still on, I woke her up and then I knocked on your bedroom door, but you didn't answer. So I opened the door and he was sleeping on his bed, guys, without a cover because you gave me the cover. So then I put the cover back on you and then me and her left. We spoke for a while and then I realised I started to like him. So then I just basically said to him, when are you going to take me out on a date? That's more or less how it went. And then yeah, he took me out on a date and, you know, as they say, all the rest is history. But yeah, that's
okay.
From my point of view, that's how I remember the evolution of our friendship and everything. And we'll do an engagement section on, you know, on this channel of how we got engaged and everything like that. But I feel like that kind of wraps up obviously my perspective of you from my side. But we did hang out lots, but we never hung out just me and you. It was me, you and all our friends. So we always knew of each other. It just wasn't a thing where I thought, oh, he's really cute. Like I never thought that. Always in each other's parameters, but never in that sense. Yeah, but that's my perspective. Now tell me what you thought about me.
So, where it began. So in first year, we both stayed in the forum.
Shout out if anyone's went to Anglia Ruskin. And if the forum is still a thing, but that would be
I thought it was a rather rubbish accommodation.
Well, yeah, but it was the accommodation they offered you if you didn't get the halls at uni. So if you didn't stay in America on campus, this was an off-campus one. But it was still run and authorized through the uni. Yeah.
So moving in was fun.
Do you remember the like induction day where you went into that room and then they would call up your name and call up who you were sharing with and just basically told you like what your flat was and they gave you the key? Was you there? Did you come to that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
It was a weird day. Yeah, it was a weird day. It was like 2, 3, no, it was about a month actually before we actually moved in.
Oh no, I collected the keys and moved in the same day.
No, they gave it to us like a month before, and that's when you met your roomie. You went in, you sussed the place out, and then you were like, oh, so when you move and then when you and all of that, and you exchanged numbers, and that's why it was like, yes,
never happened.
It was quite cute.
So yeah, first of all, I just want to say sorry to my flatmates that I had in the first year.
They will never watch this video, but it's nice of you to apologise.
If you do.
Yeah, you must have been annoying to live with. He always did parties.
Yeah, always did parties. First year, first day, moving in. Everyone, because the halls were built like in a H, almost, wasn't it? There was 2 rows.
There was 2, yeah. And there was one bit in the middle.
And there was one bit in the middle, yeah.
Yeah, so you were on the side there. I was in the middle column.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember.
So in my column, most of the flats had their doors open. Everyone's bringing their own drink, and a little bit of a backstory. Me and one of my friends who I grew up with from a young age ended up going to the same uni at the same time. So I had moved countries but came back, and so we linked up, and I was like, yeah, no, there's loads of parties going on down here, come down, bring drink. So me and him were going around all the different flats, like just meeting people, seeing what's going on, who's going where, kind of where the vibe is at. But no one was really coming to my flat, so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go to other people's flats. So we did that. And then was it the same day or maybe a few days later? Because you have 2 weeks long of Freshers Week, where 2 weeks where there's no classes, it's just parties, meeting all the sports clubs, getting to know the campus, getting to know the city, all of that. You're doing that for 2 weeks. So a couple of days later, I made it known in a accommodation that I was holding a flat party,
and you had your friends from like where you live come down as well.
Yeah, a few friends from Essex come down as well, and someone was there, but she was very quiet in first year. Where I wasn't a loud one.
You wasn't loud, but you were loud.
Our friends were loud. Collectively we were loud. Some individuals in the group are loud, but some aren't loud, and I was one of the guys in the group that wasn't loud. Yeah. But when I had a few drinks in me, different person. But yeah, we started to do really fun pre-drinks with people, and I think that's where we started to get to know each other. We came to a few pre-drinks.
Yeah. Quite a few.
That's where our paths first crossed.
It wasn't a pre-drink. It was definitely at your party thing you held at yours.
Yeah. I was a quiet, timid girl in first year.
Okay.
And then second year came along, and then we had this place called Open Access, where it's got loads of computers. That's where you do your work. And me and the guys are just chilling there, and this one walks past, and I'm like, "Who's that?" And then my mate's like, "Oh, that's Felmont." I'm like, "No, that's not Felmont." I'm like, "Are you sure?" And he goes, "I'm positive." And then he went to go and check, and then came back. And I told him, I was like, "Yeah, I want some of that." and
he got some. I'm joking, guys. I'm so sorry. Carry on.
Well, eventually, I was still living a bit of a single man's life at the time, and decided this is in second year, right? So a few months go by, we cross paths, our friendship groups are becoming more intertwined, we're seeing each other more often, chilling at each other's friends' houses and crossing paths more often. Yeah, because
you guys used to come to, even in first year, you used to come to mine. I would like do a cooking thing, and we would all just chill out. Yeah, so we used to hang out quite a bit. Actually, I would say like at least once a week we would end up seeing each other, so that's actually quite a lot. But we just never really.
Yeah, I remember I asked for a massage after football once because my leg was hurting. What did you say? Do you remember?
This was when we were like going for drives, and chatting.
Yeah.
It was never. It was in the second year. You did try it, and I think I told you that.
Yeah. So I wasn't. I was commuting in second year. I wanted to be close to home for personal reasons at the time, and I was staying at some of my friends' places when I was having classes and stuff, and the guys were still living life. I was trying to live it with them, did most of it, but sleeping on their couches when they come back in the house at 4 or 5 in the morning, drunk and waking me up. I thought, I can't be doing this. And so I was holding down a full-time job as well at the time, and I just wanted to kind of calm down. I had enough, and that's where I decided I was just gonna try and settle down, or like just calm down in general. And something naturally brought me to you,
because you had a few girls that you had in mind. I wasn't like I wouldn't say I was your first choice.
Okay.
You can tell it from your perspective. But
and so we was going for drives.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't allowed in her accommodation.
Oh, tell me why you wasn't allowed, babe.
Just because of the lifestyle I was living, I would say. But we won't go over that too much. But we started to go for drives, and it was a good opportunity to just spend one-on-one time, because if I brought her to the boys' house, they'll be around talking rubbish, and it just wasn't what I wanted. So I thought, go for a drive, see parts of Cambridge or surrounding areas that we've never been to before. And then I sweet talked the accommodation manager to allow me just to stay for a few hours, and I wouldn't stay the night because obviously this one here wouldn't let me stay the night either. And it was in Newmarket one night, and you asked me, what was it? What do you want, or like, where are we going with this? It was before you said you were taking me out for a date, or was it there you asked me you were taking me out for a date?
No, I texted you that. I texted you.
You asked me in Newmarket because I became really good friends with Selma, and I just felt really comfortable. I wasn't trying to pursue anything anymore. And I discovered I had calmed down quite a bit. Yeah, that's where I wanted to be.
We had like 2 months of going for drives, and it wasn't like once a week. It was like, 3 times a week for like 2 months solid. Just chatting to each other. And even if we weren't going for a drive, like we were texting each other almost every day.
Yeah, we was.
Yeah.
So I was working full time, spending time with my friends, and going to uni. So my life was very busy.
Yeah.
And it was when you then made I obviously made the first move, but then stopped making moves, and then that's when you made the first move to get it going again.
Yeah, like I think I just asked, like, I don't get, like, I think I asked you, what did you want from this? Like, because I wasn't, it got to a stage where I felt like personally, I can only speak for me, I just didn't know where it was going. It's like we were friends, we would talk about what we were looking for in partners, but then we would just dance around the subject, and then it was just a bit like where is this going? Like, what are we doing here? Because it almost felt like he was my friend, but I would have felt like I was offending you if I then dated somebody. That's what it felt like, because then I wasn't sure where we were and what lines I could and couldn't cross. Because imagine, like, we were going for drives and then I said to you, oh, actually, you text and say, oh, I'm coming down. I'm like, oh, actually, I've got a date. It would have been like, so
why didn't you? Why didn't you, like, talk to other guys or go on dates with other guys?
That's not who I was. So, no, just, like, I was happy, like, African parents, you are there to learn. So I was there to learn and get an education. Yeah. So I think I just felt like it just.
But on the bench, when you asked me, like, where are we going with this, and I said, like, I don't know, I like our friendship, I like what we're doing right now, and it didn't feel like I gave you a straight answer.
Yeah.
So then what made you ask me to go out on a date with you?
I don't know, I just felt like you was not wasting my time, but I was just like, where is this going? So I just point blank asked. Like, I'm a type of person, I don't
but
like, if I know what I want, I will go for it.
But why didn't you just want to be friends?
Because at that point I liked you, so it was just like, right. Okay, so what are we doing?
So I felt like you weren't interested in me because of a few different things which, you had seen and what you had known at the time.
Which I wasn't, that's why you was your friend. You were my friend, firmly.
So yeah, then I was like, damn, this girl actually wants to do something. I was like, okay. And I wasn't too sure at the time. I didn't text back straight away. So I was like,
he probably did. I can't remember, but he probably.
So I remember when you sent it to me, and I was
probably doing your homework, because you just text me with a date and time.
No, I already done my homework. That's why I want to be friends with you.
No, do homework isn't where you're taking me for a date, silly.
Oh, no. We call it a CRB check.
Are you going to explain what CRB is? Because if people don't reckon, they don't know what CRB is.
CRB check is
criminal record.
Criminal record in legal terms.
Yes.
But in guy terms, it is how many endeavours has a female had, and their history. A bit like a CV, really. So yeah, all the references, there weren't any, to be fair. So that was good. So yeah, that was one reason why I wanted her to be a good friend of mine. So I never really, I had some girl friendships,
They were
but
all hoes.
not at this level.
Hoes. If you're watching, I'm joking.
And I needed, because of my family life at that time, I needed a bit of a rock, and I found someone to be kind of almost a rock for me at that time, where everything around me was just a bit crazy and just trying to juggle too many things. And that's when I was like, yeah, F it, let's go on a date. And then I spoke to a few locals in Cambridge of where a really good like bistro kind of pub outside of the city. And then we went to the White Hart line, White Hart.
Yeah, I think it was the White Hart.
The White Hart.
In his death trap of a car, but that's the story for another day. Carry on.
They killed me 2 or 3 times, but yeah, we went there. I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
Do you remember what you ate? You probably got a steak, knowing you.
Yeah, I think it was steak and chips. Yeah.
And I got a burger. And I have a thing about I don't like eating in front of people that I don't really
You took
like.
so long.
Yeah, that I don't really know, and then coupled on top of that, I liked you as well. So like eating was just impossible, and I didn't really actually have an appetite, to be fair. But I was like, because I was nervous.
Really?
Because I'd never been on a date before. I told you that no one's ever taken me on a date, so I was like, this was my first date. So
madness.
that was nice. And
crazy stuff.
I remember I ate the burger with a knife and fork. Oh my god!
Yeah.
And if you guys see me eat a burger now, I do not eat burgers.
I was looking at the girl, I'm like,
she must be really posh.
what are you doing?
And I didn't eat all of it, and we split the bill.
Yeah.
I ticked all your boxes.
I demanded to pay all of it, but no, she wouldn't have it. So then we used to go like on cinema dates and stuff. And
Remember when we saw Skyfall?
yeah,
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
and that's when I really tried to woo her. I used to take her on our club nights and, you know, do the sort of stuff where I thought, you know, let me show you the nicer part of my world, not just what you see from the outside. But you weren't, it didn't really get you, did it?
What, wooing me?
No, like showing you like how we work the clubs and stuff.
No, I don't really care.
No, you didn't really care for it, no.
No. You were looking for a woman that was going to melt in your arms and be like, oh, that's how the person.
And yeah, it was, the rest is almost history. We went on more dates.
And we became official
Became official.
in December. I remember his friend, who I told you was basically like my best friend, when he like found out that we weren't even official then, we were just literally just going for drives, we were just friends.
Yeah.
And he has a nickname for him of O'Connor. So he's like, you and O'Connor, yeah? And I was like, yeah, like there's nothing. He's like, okay, say nothing. I was like, this is not what you think it is. And at that time, I literally thought, this isn't gonna go anywhere. This boy is literally my friend. He'll probably maybe become my best friend, but that's all I thought of it. But he's like, you and O'Connor, say nothing. You know, and you know him as well. You know how he would say it. That's literally how he said it, and I was just like, oh, punk. Yeah, now look at us. So guys, that is the story of how we met.
We could go into a lot more detail, but
we ain't going to,
yeah,
because there are some things in our life that
parental guidance.
You're silly. There are some things in our life that we just want to keep private, and that's just part of it. What we want to share with you guys anyway. So
thanks, guys.
Thanks for tuning in. If you liked this video, I know it was just a bit of a random one, but I thought because we've gained quite a lot of new subscribers and things like that, we wanted to share a little bit more about us and how we met, and just, you know, let you guys know a bit more about us and let you into our world. So I hope you enjoyed it. Again, please subscribe,
like, comment, and hit that notification bell.
Hit the bell, guys.
Come on, guys.
So yeah, and we will see you in our next video.
There's going to be more pranks, there'll be a few more challenges. we're gonna raise the bar a bit now. Yeah.
It's getting real, and I can't wait for summer to come because the content will get better.
Yes, guys.
All right, peace out.
Peace.